All right. Hello, everyone. Good day, grand rising, good evening, whatever time of day it is. I don't like the sunlight, so I might not be on camera. I am here having a conversation with you guys. I'm super excited. Talking about belief systems. So I'm sitting here with my king. He's not going to be on camera, which is cool, but I'm super excited because sitting here talking with me. So until this sunlight stops, I'm going to turn this camera off. So, talking about belief systems, we were just chatting about this whole situation with politics and religion and all these different things and all the diversity and the conversations that we're not allowed to have. I don't think we're allowed to talk about anything right now. So that's what we're talking about. So we're going to sit here and just finish up the conversation. And he's super cool for being here and chatting with me. So that's what we're going to do. So talking about belief systems, I think we can both agree. I don't know. We have different perspectives about belief systems. What's your thought?
Well, belief system is something that it's within your core of you. It comes from growing up a certain way or growing up believing a certain way. All the way up until you start to cultivate that yourself. A belief system is something that it's in your core, so you can't really hide from yourself on it because it's you. When you look in the mirror, you see what you see. That's what it is. Your belief system is that, and rather like for example, Democrat or Republican or Christian or whatever other religion. Those are belief systems that's been embedded in you, and they're very powerful, very strong. They're very strong. Once you learn that your belief systems, can affect your life, it can affect the things around you, the way you believe. You start to learn things that are different, things that are more what's the word I want to use? More good for you, basically. So that's a look sums it up in a short.
Would you say good for you or more beneficial? I think beneficial. I think we do things that we think are, I don't know, it's hard to sum up good and bad, based off of people's perspective, their belief system, right? So it's hard to
Yeah,
say that, but when is it beneficial for you or not? You might think it's, you can find the good in, stealing from somebody because you have not, I don't know what it is,
yeah.
but, you
Well,
know,
well, here's the good
the
and bad.
benefit, what's the benefit, so
Yeah, you can there is good and there is bad because you can believe something to be true, that you believed all your life and find out later it's just not true. But it was your belief system. It's still powerful. It's still powerful. That's your
so there
belief
is
system.
not good or
So
bad, right? There's no good or bad in that. I mean, there now you can correct or you can remain incorrect, right? I mean, if you are founded on something, um, and you believe it works for you,
yeah.
then is it bad when you find out that that's not the best way?
Well, it's only bad when you find out it's not the best way and you don't change. You know,
Right.
I always say, I have this belief and this is why, and I'll change my belief based on new information. I'm open for new information. I'm always open for new information because I know I don't know everything.
Right.
So I'm always open for new information. And if that information changes the way I believe, so be it. The information is the information. To me, it's unbiased.
Right.
It's unbiased. So yeah, you know what you know, and then you don't know what you don't know until somebody says something or you realize it, and
Hmm.
and then you know.
Right.
So
I guess
that's
that's why I said, like, as far as right or wrong versus incorrect or correct. Like, so let me give you an example. So if we grow up getting spankings, for instance, right? And for whatever reason, today's society, you don't spank your children. Maybe you feel like, uh, that's not how I want to child rear. You don't say, well, I for me, I probably deserved a whole lot more spankings than I got. I know I did. Um, we survive our spankings, but we don't spank our children. It's not. I don't think that's a bad. It's a right. It's a good or bad thing. I think it's, if you have children that are adults now, like, how you can't correct it. It's not now. It's not incorrect. It's now where you're learning. You correct, and how do you correct? Now your children are adults. You can't correct the fact that you did or did not discipline a certain way, but can you pay it forward, and educate and empower other people? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So now
yeah,
we have children having children. How do we make that impact? And it's
yeah.
hard. It's
Yeah,
hard
uh,
because of the belief system, right?
yeah. Undisciplined children become undisciplined adults,
Right.
and that's just what it is, So in you raise them in the beginning. It starts young. It takes and it's a family thing. You start them young. You raise them the right way. When they get to that age, they wouldn't dare put their hands on you because they have that much love and respect for you in the end. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I remember when my father used to, I got ass whooping. I got whoopings, sorry.
Right. No, good.
I got lots of whoopings, but I was always wrong in it. But I tell you what, it corrected me. And then I remember as I got older, 13, 14, 15, my father talked to me differently.
Mm-hmm.
We behaved differently together. It wasn't no more butt whoopings, it was talking to. And that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, you should know the difference between being talked to and a butt whooping, you know.
Right.
So
And then you have children that are now of older age. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're smart mouth. And now they've been undisciplined, they're unruly. So how do you can't spank a 15, 16-year-old? Like, how do you can't punish? What do you do? Especially in
I
today's
mean,
society.
they
That's why it's important to child rear. I don't think it's not a conversation anymore.
when you get through like that and where there's no discipline and you become an adult, generally there's problems for you. You have a lot of
Oh
problems.
yes.
You end up dealing with the law. You're doing things that you didn't want to do, but because you didn't have that upbringing, that and sometimes it's your own fault. Don't get me wrong, parents do a lot, but sometimes you
Right.
so
Grand Rising, Queen Kathy, on vacation, always in the house. Love you. Grand Rising to Roz on stereo. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to drop a comment or whatnot. So, yeah, I'm talking to my king here, having a conversation about belief systems. Um, so what do we do? So now we have a whole generation now that we're talking about belief systems, talking about how you were raised, I was raised, couple years apart. Right. So, but still like the same ethics, and like little by little, generation by decade, like things have been depleted. So now we have a whole generation that is just running amok. What do we do? How do you? I, I feel like we try to reach the children, but and that's where you have to go. But it's hard with the adults
yeah
are the battle, right?
you have undisciplined adults raising children. That is not a good thing.
It's
It's not.
horrible.
Now you're perpetuating the cycle. It's going to be a cycle. It's going to keep rolling.
It's
It's going to
horrible.
keep rolling like that until somebody breaks the cycle. Somebody's got to wake up. Somebody's got to wake up. You got to wake up. At some point in
Absolutely.
time.
And
If
that's
you,
why I want to have this conversation about like the belief system, because like where do we, I mean, it's just a cluster in the head trying to figure out where you even start. Like where it's just mind boggling, and it like just thinking about how you reach people, who you reach, where it is challenging to say the least.
man, I said, read something, study something. You know, pick up a book, pick up a magazine. I don't care. Read a comic strip.
Mm-hmm.
Something. Read something consistently. I always try to seek more and better information. I used to watch 6-hour lectures, and the first two,
You
3 hours, I knew what was going to be in the first 2 or 3 hours, but I had to endure in order to get into the good stuff that was going to be in the middle and then in the end. So, you got to be disciplined, and you got to work for it.
you
You got to
do.
work for some things.
I think that's the biggest downfall with society today. Like no one wants to work for, and you have people that are like boots on the ground doing the work. Just this basic conversation right now, like people, if it's not about the Kardashians, I don't want to dog names, but if it's not like in the limelight, then it's just a passerby kind of thing, and it's so frustrating. But I know people, like I said before, like I know people, everybody I know, people that you have intimate, relationships with, are on level ground. I don't like to deal with people that it's not being better than, but like if we don't click, what do we do if we can't grow together? I guess I'll say,
Yeah.
and we can have difference of opinions. We can
Like-minded. You
open
want to
minded.
be around like-minded people. Open-minded people or like-minded people.
Well, here's the thing with like minded. If you say something, if I say something and you say something different, you can, agree, but you have a difference of opinion. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. Every time you're right. Where there's no individuality. Where
Yeah.
with being open minded, I can, we can
Everybody
click
has ideas.
and we can
Everybody has
respect
ideas.
that. We can
Exactly.
respect that and grow
Exactly.
from that. If it doesn't
Everybody
work for
has
me, it doesn't
ideas.
work for me. If it does, but
We're
don't
like
discard it because you don't understand in the moment. I
right.
guess.
We're like-minded because we come up with things. We may not come up with the same thing, but we come up with different things. That's like-minded. You know.
I agree. I agree. I think it makes it so challenging. So we were talking about earlier the whole I don't like to be controversial, and that's why we were talking about this. So it stemmed from talking about the situation with this light is so bright. I'm so sorry, y'all. I can't be on camera. It's so bright. But I'm outside. You all hear the birds. So we were talking about the whole political thing here in the U.S. And I was saying, we were talking about, how things are so controversial. We can't have a conversation about politics, about religion, about anything, all that extra jazz, anything. So how do we evaluate our belief systems when we're always trying to compare and try to keep up with the Joneses and how we think? I feel like there's no individuality. There's no security in truth. That's how I feel. I don't know. Like if I say I think this or that, um, why does it have to be intimidating? Why am I a threat to be censored because it's my truth? And then now it's an argument about being censored or what you can or can't say, but no one thinks basic about constitutional rights. So I don't understand. We are so extravagant in our thought process when it's really just very basic. Why can't you say this is how I believe?
Because we're not free.
There you
We
go.
claim it. But we're not. There are people that I don't know if they own us or what, but they run this world.
Mm-hmm.
About maybe 300 people run this whole world, and they're not who you think they are. That's just what it is. So that's why you can't say what you want to say when you want to say it. That's exactly why the powers that be will get on you.
Isn't that amazing though? Like that having that conversation, just saying that basic truth. You have so many people that'll say, well, you're not patriotic, you're not American, you're anti all these things just in that basic statement, but you won't take the time to even think about what's being said. Like automatically you're programmed to just be ignorant. I guess I don't know what other way it is to say it because the
Yeah,
truth
you
is
are.
the truth and the information's out there, and that's what's so insane about it by definition that they put the truth out there, and it's like that's the joke, that's the big gag that like it's out there, and like they're like y'all are so stupid, you're so ignorant that it's here, but you won't look. We're gonna put it right in front of your face. Here, eat this, and like
No,
you know,
most people don't read much once they get past high school, unless you're in college or something like that. And then, as long as you're not pursuing some kind of educational degree, you really don't. I'm not going to say you don't. Most people really don't read, and they depend on the news to tell them whatever going on in the world. And the problem with that is the news has an agenda. It
they
always
do.
has an agenda. It always
Mm-hmm.
going to give you the perspective that they want to give you. And then the more they tell it to you, the more they run it, the more you start to believe it. It must be true. They keep running. They keep running. No, they're part of that. They're part of the same powers that be.
Yeah,
They're trying to tell you what to believe.
they are telling you, you know, and that's what sucks. That's what's
Do your
sad.
own research. So if they say this, go look and study all the information. Not just what is good that that you want to see in it. Study what's bad in it for you too. You have to study it all and look at it all, and then come up with your own conclusion. Then you can't say nobody told you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You figured it out on your own.
I agree.
Those are those aha moments, when you start studying and you read and you start learning and then you realize some of the things that you believe in just not true. Just not true.
And that's what I said back to, like, that fear, being very, that fear is real, not, your belief system falling apart. If you all have never watched, How I Met Your Mother, there's an episode, my husband and my king and I used to watch How I Met Your Mother. And there's an episode where, like, all the friends, if you never watched How I Met Your Mother, I'll find the episode. But it was a conversation among these friends, and somebody said something and just shattered the glass of reality for them, so it was a big episode for me, at least. But just unveiling the truth is scary. It is very uncomfortable, and I think it's a matter of comfort. And
but that's just it. I'm comfortable with whatever it tells me. Whatever the information tells me, I'm comfortable with. Once I find many sources, and you look until you find, if these are all saying the same thing, that means, guess what? It may be true. It still don't mean it's true. It may be true, but you did some research and you basing it off research. Better research come in, I changed my opinion. So
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, let me give you a prime example, a real time example. I know, like, we remember, and I think my husband and I are well balanced. We balance each other out, right? So we're both intelligent, we both have our own skills and gifts. And I remember being in my own intelligence and him and his, and like you said, doing hours of research, hours of studying, which was a cost. He was down with his health. It was a cost, but he made the best of it, and it was beneficial. And he came to me one day. He says, us being quote unquote Christians, going to church, all these things. He says, "What if I told you that the God you believe in wasn't real?" And I make a joke about it now, but I'm like, not my God, not my Jesus. Like most people say, most Christians say, and I
let it go.
And he did. But you know what though? It rubbed me a certain way, because I felt like we were on understandable ground with that, right? So now I'm like, what? Why is he saying this? Now I have to come and ask, like, why are you saying this? What's going on? Now I have to look. He's saying this, so I'm gonna go look. I had to dive deeper and deeper and deeper. And it was like, oh, and there was a point of discomfort and uncertainty and fear of something different, something that my belief system was founded on. Does that make sense? So it can be intimidating, but I promise you, like that movie, The Matrix, like how much money did they pull in from The Matrix still to this day? That movie is entertaining, but like it's so basic. I thought to myself when I watched the first one, I was like, oh my God, like who would eat that food, that mush, that simple thing. But like we think about it now COVID's hit since then, there's no food in the shelves, people are not thinking about farming or growing their own foods, that, all these different things. And like, what would you eat? Just different things. And you have to really see what's going on in reality. They make it more complicated than it is. And that's the joke. Like, so when we say people are sheep, people are ignorant, like it's no shade, because I've been there. We've all been there. And that's why we have the conversation. Yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating. Let me give you another simple analogy. Waking on them to wake up. I always say, all because you say you're woke, I hit the snooze button 5-10 times. I set my alarm for 5 o'clock and I get up at 6. And it's set every 10 minutes for snooze. I'm awake, but I'm not alert. I'm not aware. I'm not focused. So when we say we're woke, my husband's sitting here nudging me. He's frustrated. He's agitated. I woke him up, and I'm thinking he's going back to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Like when we're saying that we're woke, it's become a cliche. It still needs to be what it is, but be accountable. Are you aware? Are you focused? Are you? Go ahead.
I think if you're awake or woke or whatever you want to call it, that means that you are self-mastered. You learn that what happens in your life is determined by you, what you do, what you didn't do, what education you got, what education you didn't get. It's all about you. The responsibility for your life is on you. When you understand that, then you have to start working forward from there. You understand where you are right now. If you don't like where you are, then do better. And you can't blame nobody else. And when you're woke or you self-conscious or self-aware, that's what it is. You're trying to reach the better you every day. Be a better you. Study, read, learn, talk to people. Be nice, be kind, be patient with people. Because everybody ain't where you are. You have to remember that. Everybody's not where you are. You were once there too. Be smart about it.
I agree. Look at that knowledge. I love it. So yeah, I'm not gonna keep you all because my husband's got things to do. And I want to spend time with him, but I want to have this conversation with y'all because we were talking about it, and I thought this was important and valuable. So yeah. Go ahead.
Please read.
Please read.
Please study. Don't believe what everybody's telling you. Go check for yourself. Go check. I say that all the time. Don't believe nothing I say. Go check. Follow what I say. Go check it. Don't believe nothing.
And you've also talked about, though, as far as doing double checking. Don't just read one source and take one person. You have to really look into that. All because one source says something doesn't mean it's the end all be all.
No. Even the ones you trust. Because there are a lot of them out there that I trust. But I still go look. I still write it down. When they talk about it, I write it down. I go peek for myself. I want to make sure. I can't pass nothing on that I don't know for sure. Or at least I believe I know for sure.
And that's why I said I don't think people always try to be right or wrong unless you're just the prick. I think people can be incorrect or correct. If we're saying something right now and we're speaking truth to power, like we find out is, there's different information, we're wrong if we don't come back and say, hey, I told you this, but I found new information. That's where you're wrong. I never try to be right or wrong with somebody, it's just being correct. And we do that by learning, by being open and honest and being aware and being comfortable and know your audience. I think it was Les Brown. I heard Les Brown say this, hello, Queen Mother. He said, if you are the smartest person in the room, if you're the best person in the room, you need to switch it up. You need to move around. That doesn't mean you drop your people, but level up, right? If you're the best one in the crowd, like some people are the best in the crowd and they trash, so, if you're the best in the crowd, then there's always room to grow is the point to that. There's always room to elevate, learn more. For every day you're living, there's always something to learn. We always talk about here, what if you did live, thousands of years? Could you imagine the things that you could learn, like the elevation you can have? But you have people for 40 years and haven't done anything, still live with their mama, don't work, have children they don't take care of, so time to level up. So that is all we have. What is your belief system? Think about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. We thank you for tuning in. If you're on stereo, thank you. I see you, Roz. Thank you for tuning in. Please follow. I'm here to follow on you so I can keep up with you. Thank you all for tuning in. My husband's gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. You all have a great weekend. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings.